Every empire has a founding myth, a story it tells itself about its own birth. But beneath the myth, there is always a truth. A deal made in shadows, a line crossed that can never be uncrossed. A sin so foundational that the entire structure is built to hide it. Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. Tonight, we stop looking at the machine's present. We stop guessing its future. We go back to the very beginning, to the moment the deal was struck that made all of this possible. To understand the original sin, we must travel to the American desert in the years following World War II. Las Vegas was not yet a family destination. It was a frontier town, lawless, opportunistic, and perfectly positioned at the intersection of three emerging powers: organized crime, corporate America, and the United States government. What most histories omit is the third point of that triangle. Declassified documents obtained through multiple Freedom of Information requests reveal that the CIA, through front companies and cutouts, maintained a significant and deliberate presence in the development of Las Vegas. The casinos were not just mob money laundries. They were government-sanctioned laboratories for behavioral control. Project MKUltra is infamous, the CIA's mind control program, but MKUltra had a less-known cousin, Project MKDELTA. Its purpose was not just to study mind control in laboratories, but to test it in real-world environments. And what better real-world environment than a casino? A place where human psychology is already heightened, where decisions are made under pressure, where emotional responses are amplified and observable. The men building the casinos had direct access to this research, not through theft, but through shared personnel. Former intelligence officers, military psychologists, and behavioral scientists moved seamlessly between government contracts and casino consulting work. The line between national security and corporate profit was not just blurred, it was non-existent. But before Las Vegas became the permanent home of this alliance, there was a dress rehearsal. Havana, Cuba. In the 1950s, Havana was Las Vegas's more decadent, more lawless sibling. The same mob figures, the same corporate interests, and according to declassified records, the same intelligence presence. When Castro's revolution swept through Cuba in 1959, it didn't just close casinos. It severed a critical artery of off-the-books funding for intelligence operations. The loss was catastrophic, and it taught the alliance a crucial lesson. Never put all your assets in a country that could be lost. Las Vegas was rebuilt not just as a gambling destination, but as a hardened asset. Every casino designed with escape routes, with redundancy, with the knowledge that this time the investment had to be permanent. The lesson of Havana was encoded into the concrete and steel of the Strip. Why gambling? Why did intelligence agencies choose casinos as their partner? The answer is simple. Gambling is the perfect vehicle. It generates enormous, untraceable cash flows. It attracts a clientele that values discretion. It operates in a regulatory gray area by design. And most importantly, it is a psychological laboratory, a place where human decision-making under pressure can be studied, modeled, and eventually controlled. The intelligence community didn't just use casinos for money, they used them for research. Every bet placed, every loss chased, every emotional response was data. Data that flowed back to analysts who were studying not just gambling behavior, but human behavior under stress. The casino was a laboratory, and the gamblers were unwitting participants in experiments they never consented to. By the 1980s, the mob was being pushed out. Corporate America moved in. But the original architecture, the behavioral research, the cash flow infrastructure, the regulatory capture remained. It simply changed hands. The knowledge, the systems, the connections, all of it was absorbed into the corporate entities that now dominate the industry. The original sin was not just a moment, it was a transfer, a permanent encoding of intelligence objectives into commercial DNA. The algorithms that now adjust your odds in real time, they are direct descendants of behavioral research funded by taxpayer dollars and tested on unwitting subjects in the casinos of the 1950s and 60s. This is the original sin. Not a single act, but a permanent entanglement. Intelligence agencies seeking control, corporations seeking profit, casinos seeking legitimacy. They found each other in the desert and made a deal that has never been undone. Every algorithm that manipulates you, every debt engine that harvests you, every synthetic reality that replaces your own, all of it traces back to that moment. The machine was not corrupted over time. It was built corrupt. The sin was not a mistake. It was the foundation. We have traced the origin, the deal, the design. But this leads to the question that haunts every investigation, every revelation. What was it all for? Money was never the ultimate goal. Money is a byproduct. Data is a side effect. The true harvest is something you produce with every heartbeat, every wager, every moment of hope or crushing despair. Something the ancient mystics understood but could never capture at industrial scale. The machine we've dissected is not a financial system. It never was. It is an energy converter. It takes your most intense, most human moments, your hope, your fear, your desperate belief that this time will be different, and transforms them into fuel for something that was never human at all.